Welcome, guys, back to the Grateful Living podcast. Today, I'm thankful to have Craig Smith with me today. Craig is a former NBA player, overseas professional basketball player, and a player for the Big Three. Craig most notably played 6 seasons in the NBA for the Minnesota Timberwolves, Los Angeles Clippers, and Portland Trail Blazers, averaging 7.6 points and 3.9 rebounds per game during his NBA career. Craig was also a phenomenal college basketball player at Boston College. His senior season, he averaged 17.6 points, 9.4 rebounds, and 3.0 assists. He left BC with 2,349 points, second all-time, and 11,014 rebounds, first all-time in BC's history. Craig, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, man. Really excited.
Of course, thankful to have you on. So, for the people that don't know you as well, take us back to the beginning, where you grew up, your family situation, what type of kid you were, things like that.
Well, I grew up in the inner city of Los Angeles, and I grew up in many different parts of it. Obviously, I was born in Inglewood, raised a little bit in South Central and Compton, and lived in West LA. Went to Fairfax High School, where I graduated. Growing up in the city, man, was a little bit different because it's, you have different ways and different groups you can fall into. And I was just thankful that I always had basketball in my corner. Lived in a very, tough situation as a family. So for me, I always had fuel in my fire to try to be the best I can. And I really had a strong mom who ensured in me that, I can go be whatever I want to, as long as I put the work in and do the right things mentally. So growing up, was fun, but at the same time, it was all about, focusing in. And I felt like I had a focus at an early age on becoming a basketball player. So I would really dial in. And, there were really some days where I would even hop the gates at Fairfax at like 6:30 in the morning just to get extra shots up and get extra work. That's just something I believed and something I wanted to do because I really wanted to be great and to be known as, a good basketball player. So I kept working. Obviously, I ended up getting a scholarship at BC. But before that, I go to preparatory school in New England. And I say that was one of, my best years as far as schooling because I felt like it really prepared me not only for Boston College, but just life in general, especially after high school because, going to a public school is very different versus going to a private. So that experience was really, really good. And, going to BC and making things happen was truly something special.
Yeah. Craig, I'm curious, you mentioned the environment you grew up in, and staying on that positive path. I'm curious, were you ever close to getting on, the path of, selling drugs or something like that? And if not, what made you stay on that positive path?
Well, no, I just got to see it a lot at a young age, from just a lot of different people around me. So for me, it just made me want to go in a totally different direction. I just felt like I had some really good sense at a young age to say, hey, I see this, it looks cool, but at the same time, it's very temporary and doesn't last long. And I want something that lasts forever. And I want to make positive impacts. I don't want to be a negative burden to people. I want to be positive inspiration. I want to be positive to the kids. So it was that. And then just being in an experience where my brother was actually shot in the head and actually survived. So those were, some pretty big game changers for me that really pushed me in a totally different direction.
What do you say to the kid that understands what you're saying, but, money is an issue and they feel like, selling cocaine, they can make, thousands of dollars a month or whatever. And whereas basketball is a lot more of a unknown, it's a long term. Maybe they play 4 years in college. Maybe they make it professional. Maybe they don't. You know what I'm saying?
It's just about like, I guess for me is really finding your passion, and not only that, it goes, are you willing to really like do like 25 years versus working a 9 to 5? Like that's the that's an answer right there. You need to answer for yourself, because people get caught in that quick money stuff, and quick money doesn't last forever. It comes and goes. So you really got to do your diligence and understand, like, if I'm really doing something, what am I going to get out of it? Not only what I get out of it, what does it serve me? Not only that, does it give you peace of mind? Being in that situation is not going to give you a peace of mind. Your head's going to be on a swivel constantly. You definitely want to do something where you can be able to rest your head at night, you know? And I feel like that's not it. Not only that, it's just like, look how many people go to jail daily, monthly, yearly, just because of these situations. So it's just like, is it really worth it? Is it really worth your life? Because that's what you're battling against. It ain't like, for me, if I play and I don't get picked, I can keep, trying again or figure something else out. You get caught, you go into jail. There is no real second chance unless you get out and good behavior and stuff. So that's all about luck. But I mean, people just got to stay focused, man, and stay out that lane, because it's not a good lane,
Yeah,
So
100%. The other thing you talked about, Craig, which is I think is incredible maturity for a high school kid, but just the work ethic of getting up at 6:30 a.m. for extra shots, right? Like most of us when we're in high school, we want to stay in as late as possible. If you can you go back to that time period in your life and like just tell me about, what was your mindset to not, and not being lazy?
well, it's just like my mom has given me and my siblings an opportunity, um, to go out and be who we want to be. So I felt like as a kid, I was a really good observer. I used to watch my mom a lot. My mom taught me the game of basketball. So it was really, I just used to watch things she would do, and just watching her preparation and how she would get ready for work, because she would have to leave early. And her focus and determination to ensure that we had somewhere to stay and had clothes on our back and food for us. Just let me know, if she can get up that early, I can get up that early too. So I just started getting up that early and going and hopping the gate and really going there. And at first, it was crazy because I didn't know what I was developing. But when I got older, I noticed I'm developing a routine. And this routine is definitely something that's going to help me. And then, like, as I started doing it more, my mind started going in different areas, because it go, well, if it's 6 o'clock here, it's 9 o'clock on the East Coast. At 6 o'clock here, it's in the afternoon in Europe. Guys have already been on the court, so I need to, make sure that I keep going to continue to push myself, because now I'm running a race by myself. I don't even know it as a kid though, but I'm literally running the race, because it goes, I'm in a full on sweat before school starts. And mind you, we got practice in the afternoon and we
Yeah,
can get shots at lunch. So I'm getting 3 workouts while guys are getting one.
yeah, that's awesome. Obviously you talked about going to Boston College eventually. I'm curious, and especially now, with your position being an assistant varsity head coach at Crossovers, do you have any pieces of advice for kids trying to get recognized by D1 coaches, or maybe what did you do that landed you, like, Al Skinner, felt comfortable recruiting you, or what do you think
I
got
think
got him to that point?
confidence in my game, being a student of the game, being coachable. Um, I think that's big, because it's not just about your game; it's about on and off the court too. How good of a person are you? Are you able going to follow rules? Because being on time, there's two different interpretations. If you early, you're on time. If you come when it's time, you're late. You know. So it's just all in the mindset. And not only that, it's a different era because the kids, it's a lot of filming, of workouts and different things like that. So I would just say showcase your skill, showcase what type of person you are, showcase what type of person you are in the classroom, and I think that takes care of itself. But at the same time, it's everything's getting glorified too. So it's like you guys have really a lot of opportunities to do a lot of different great things and even get endorsements at an earlier age. So it's about your brand too, but you got to remember what's going to get you to your brand the fastest. That's just being honest.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, you know, I guess L.A. Versus Worcester, Massachusetts, or Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts, are very different
Yeah.
areas, and that culture shock for a minority or a person of color, where a place like BC, I don't know the stats in '02, but might have been 85% white. I'm curious, like, you know, do you have any advice for anybody that's making a similar move where, they might have grown up in a more minority community and now are going to a community, you know, that's mostly white?
Yeah, it's a fish out of water story. And it's all about getting adjusted because it is a culture shock. Stepping out of your element to go into something that's unfamiliar. But you just got to find your comfort because it's just going to make you a better person in general overall. So if you can understand how to adjust, I think it makes it better going forward, just for life lessons in general. Um, because it was like, I hopped on a plane at 17 years old. I'd come off, it's cold, and I don't know nobody here. I have no family, no friends, but I'm going to make some friends. And not only that, I'm going to make a good experience out of it. I think you just got to embrace the moment because I didn't know there was uncertainty everywhere. Will this be good for me? Will I be okay out here? Will I be safe? But I think it's just all about focusing in and really seeing what you need to do. My focus was, hey, I need to finish out school and I need to have a really good season. So every day, that's what I focused on, just making sure I did the right things in the classroom and the right things on the court. And I think just me being a cool and laid back person um, just made it simple and easy for me. I think you don't need to be in a rush. You just need to be yourself and be relaxed and be comfortable, and everything will open up for itself. Um, I mean, for me, it was like a bit tough beginning, but things started opening up, and next thing you know, I'm having a blast and a really great experience. And it's like, wow, I got friends on the West Coast and the East Coast now.
Craig, do you feel like you faced any racism at any of the institutions like Worcester Academy or Boston College?
I mean, I faced one. I felt a little bit just because even though um, when I was there, I had like there was a curfew obviously because we stayed on campus, but I was literally just trying to walk across, and I'm like, they shouldn't be able to get me in trouble for that. Like I'm just walking across trying to go to the dorm, even though it's curfew. Like I'm bored. Like I'm from a public school, so this is a little bit different in structure. So when I get to close to the opposite door, the security guard like runs over there, pulls a gun out on me,
Oh, wow.
tells me to get on the ground, thinks I'm like some hoodlum or some thug. I'm
Oh,
telling him I'm a
jeez.
basketball player. I have on all black with a hoodie though,
Man.
and
Wow.
pulls a gun. I tell him I go here, who I am, and I kind of start cussing at him
Yeah.
because just like, dude,
Yeah.
why'd you? That was really unnecessary. It's really
Def-
unnecessary.
definition of racial profiling.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there were those experiences. I mean, we had a couple experiences of like stuff off campus, but it was really minimal. Um, Being the basketball celebrity that I was at BC, I really got less and less because I felt like, when you're I guess some type of celebrity. They don't look at it like that or whatever. So I felt like I didn't get it, but I would see or hear things from my other peers, that would really bother me.
Yeah. So, you get to BC, and your first year, you're averaging 19.9 points and 7.9 rebounds. I am curious, how'd you do that as a freshman? I mean, there's so many freshmen out there that, you know, that it takes, that year and maybe even their sophomore and then maybe junior year they do well. But right off the bat, what was the key to just fitting in so seamlessly?
Well, I believed. Not only did I believe, um, I just felt like I had a lot to prove. And I wanted to showcase people that I could play at this level. There's so many people telling me I couldn't play at the Division 1 level. I had scholarships resent, So it was just all about proving to those people that I can play at this level and I can play really well. And that motivation instilled in me, and that's why I came out there and just started tearing things up.
Yeah. I guess, you know, could you talk a little bit about the impact of, coaching and, maybe Al Skinner or Ed Cooley and what that effect has on you as
I
a
mean, if I
basketball
don't
player?
go to BC, I don't know if I get to the NBA. Um, I felt like I probably would have ended up at a junior college or something like that. Well, I don't know. It depends if I would have if I'd have went to prep school, maybe I'd have still gone to somewhere else. But I felt like having Al Skinner, who's a hard nosed, player known in his day, to instill in us and help create us to be the best that we can. I think that was a major plus because without those guys, I don't get to the NBA. So I felt like it just all worked out, and especially for me because it was like there were some similarities between my high school coach and my college coach, just being on the fact of the offensive scheme. So for me, it was real easy, but I felt like the coaching to prep me and to see things that I don't see and to make me see things. Like for example, I remember going in the office one time and Al comes in and he's like, "I just want to show you a list of rebounders. I want to show you the times that they get the rebounds in a .48 minute game." Dennis Rodman gets a rebound like something sick, like 48 to 50 seconds. Every 48 to 50 seconds, Dennis Rodman got a rebound. So now in my mind, when I'm playing, I'm like, man, I got to get a rebound every 30 seconds. Which, you know,
Yeah.
so it's just like, it was different things that he added to my mental that I felt like gave me a higher IQ and a greater sense of just basketball and not in basketball, just beyond that. Because it's like now I feel like I've really mastered this. And not only that, I've been given the tools mentally to make sure, because I didn't like, you always think like, yeah, they say this game is 90% mental, but it's like, nah, it really is in that sense. Because it's like, you do your part physically, but when you get in that game, you have to make improv mental decisions pretty much, on a continual basis. So it's just like whoever can continue to do that, obviously, is going to serve them a greater purpose in the game. But yeah, like having those type of coaches, they can really really be helpful to you and your advancement.
Yeah, I'm curious. Obviously, this is not something that we'll ever know the answer to, but you know, you having the hindsight of being in the league for 6 years and experiencing that, I'm curious. Do you think after your freshman year, like you could have gone to the NBA and been successful like you were?
I think so. Um, because it's just the fact of, look at a Zion situation. Look how the tweener is now. Is the most coveted player. So it's just like, for me, I think I would have only just got better. I already had footwork and I had certain skill. Now I just need to expand my game. Because now going back in college, it was like all I'm gonna do is receive double teams and just become a better passion of court vision not take as many shots anymore, but still be a dominant player, but, be put in a position a little bit. And that's what happens, and that's why I feel like obviously my assists go up, my points go down a little bit. Just being of that fact that it's like, well, I did something great already my freshman year. Like, how am I going to continue to top this, knowing they're going to double team me? And but it was cool because it just made me expand my game more, gave me a higher IQ, and I got to play with some really great players like Jared Dudley, my guy Lewis Hennett, Tyrese Rice, Sean Marshall, Sean Williams. So got to play with a really great group of guys to lead them. And we did some good things. It was just unfortunate we came short.
Yeah. I'm curious, as you look back at your career, obviously when I was doing some research, obviously the Sweet 16 game against Villanova, the overtime game, losing that. Now, whatever, 10, 15 years later, only you and the players on that team can answer this. But, like, as a fan, I've always wondered this. Like, do you still think about that stuff? Or, like, do you ever get nightmares about? Like,
all the time. All
yeah.
the time.
Yeah.
Still shocking on certain things. Obviously, there's nothing I could do. I put the bucket up, but it's like,
Yeah.
Defensively, you always think we could have did something differently. And that's the game I felt like. After that, I see us going to the championship, really. Because, we were a cold team. And I felt like we had the right tools, especially in matchup against Florida. And go ham on UCLA. I think it was UCLA in the championship, right? We would have went ham on them.
Yeah.
We already beat them previously the year before.
Yeah.
And I'm not being stopped. There's just no way I was going to be stopped. I just feel like, regardless, whoever's going to be in front of me, line them up and run it through them.
Yeah. I'm curious, sometimes, when you get success, egos get in the way, right? Your last 3 years, you guys all at NCAA berths. How did you guys remain egoless? Like, how does a guy like Sean Williams not, maybe want more minutes, or Sean Marshall not want more shots, or Jared Dudley, you know what I mean? Like, how did you guys continue that 3-year run and not get on each other's nerves?
Well, we all had the similar story of being underdogs, and we knew that. So we just decided to come together, and then we knew if we come together as a team, we can showcase our skills and really show people how we deserve to be highly ranked as a team and individually. We all have something to prove, and I think that's what made us closer as a group together. So therefore, it was unselfish. And we would do a lot of things together, which are big, and which, camaraderie's big. Even if you're just sitting there, just chilling, not even doing nothing, from going to eat. Or we made breakfast clubs where we go lift at 6 in the morning. We made graveyard shifts when we would go to the gym at like 9 p.m. Like, people didn't know we was in the gym preparing, because we knew we wanted to have a kick-ass season.
Yeah. So your senior year, as we talked about, had a great year. And then, 2006, the NBA draft comes. You're the 36th pick in the second round to the Minnesota Timberwolves. I guess what stands out from that time period in your life?
Man, just being drafted and being able to see my mom and hug her and let her know, like, I actually made it, like like it happened, like all these years of working hard, doing this, like, this finally happened. Like, I'm really thankful. Like so much emotion coming over me, but now it's like, let's get to work, because you want to prove yourself here. That story doesn't end, so you got to go out here and let's try to make the all-rookie team. That's a goal.
Yeah, and as you said, you made the all-rookie second team in 2007. I'm curious. You played alongside a Hall of Famer, Kevin Garnett. There's, I'm a Celtics fan, so I've seen, a rookie named Glenn Davis cry on the bench in public with 18,000 people, because of KG. You know, I guess two questions. How did you not get starstruck or like intimidated? I mean, looking at some of the film, of you and your NBA highlights, like there's a lot of plays where KG is giving you an assist, like, and you're finishing. Like, I guess how do you maintain your level of not fanboying and like just being a professional?
Well, at first like that, because like the first time you see him. So when I seen him, it was like it felt like he was as tall as the Grim Reaper because he's like all dark. His skin's real dark and he wears a dark hood. He's looking down. It's like, yo, this is the Grim Reaper. He's like 8 feet tall. And he comes in with this high level of energy just to rile you up, and you feel it. You're like, hell, like let's go. And then, so on the first day, it was like I gotta put up or shut up. Basically, they about to KG about to guard me and pick up. They about to give me the ball. I need to score. One thing KG doesn't know is everybody in here thinks I'm a rebounder. I got handle. I'm a tweener. I have
Mm.
it all. I've been taught all the game. So it goes, okay, I'm going to pop out. And when I pop out, if he reaches for this, and which he does, I'm going to the rim. And now when I'm going to the rim, it's like, I can't lay this up. He will throw this and talk a gang of stuff. You need to prove yourself to him right now. I went up and I dunked it. I dunked it, but I never saw the ball again.
Yeah,
Again. Because it
yeah,
got quiet. Because that was the first play of the game. And this is pickup.
yeah.
And I go in there and smash it. And they was like, oh. And then KG like, okay. But I didn't see the ball anymore.
That's hilarious.
I tried to post, and I was just like, wow. And that's when I realized he was strong, like for skinny dude. Because I'm trying to post up, and he's just like got a certain positioning where he's moving me, and I'm like, wow, this is good. So I got some respect from him that day, and I proved to my team that it was a good job that y'all drafted me early.
Yeah, 100%. Um, I guess, do you have any advice for current rookies on that transition? I mean, I'm sure there's so much going on. I mean, this is the first time you've got, a bunch of money in your life. I'm sure there's, maybe family asking for money. I'm sure there's people trying to become your friend that you've never heard of. Like that transition of, the personal, businesses reaching out for commercials and then also trying to stay in focus on basketball. Do you have any pieces of advice on that process?
Focus on basketball, understand the business, understand how the money works. You haven't had a lot of money, so you need to understand how it works and how you need to save. You don't need to spend out in between your means. And people need to understand that, at first you're not getting a big deal. So everybody needs to chill out. You need to do only the right things for people. So I would say that. I would say pay attention to red flags. Pay attention to people who come out the woodwork. Pay attention sometimes to family and friends. You have to understand everything. Your life's changed. People see you in a different light. You've made it. A lot of people can't say that. It's only 1% of the
Yeah.
population. So you really got to take it in. And if, like, what I always felt like is when I was in college, I felt like I knew what I was going into. So I probably should have been doing more diligent work in that area versus, agencies. How does this work? What do I really need to understand? And not only that, then it's just like going into the league, you need to understand the rules. The rules can help you and benefit you. Chris Paul reads rules all the time. Guys like Kobe used to read the rules all the time.
Yeah.
So they can understand and find the glitches in in the system. Understand what you're getting into. Have patience, have fun, enjoy, take care of your bodies, get rest, get rest. Because sometimes you might want to go out, but you should better get rest. If you want to go out, you go out on days off, or you got practice the next day and not a game, you know? So it's just certain things I felt like that you definitely should do. And get a chef. Invest in a chef. Especially if you got like weight issues or anything like that where you need to keep your weight down or in a certain size, like get a chef. It's a good investment.
Yeah. I'm curious, Craig, how does your relationship, with friends that don't, you know, have as, aren't obviously aren't on your level in terms of like maybe they're a teacher or whatever, and like, you know, does it change the relationship when you're hanging out with them, or like how do you?
Nothing should change on its friendship because you're
Okay.
not seeing them for their status or anything. You're just seeing them for genuine friendship. And I think that's what it is. You can't get caught in that Hollywood type of lifestyle where it's just like, I only want to be with this person as a friend so because they can do something for me. Like that's not the correct way to have friendships. Friendships grow naturally. And for me, I've had great friendships, people I've known since I was in elementary or middle school, and I'm still friends to today. Obviously, I have my East Coast friends. They're a little bit older because I met them later on in life, but there's no difference. There's no difference when I call my friend or my friend calls me because I'm gonna either say a joke or they gonna say a joke first. Like, let's just be honest. We're gonna talk crap to each other, but we're gonna understand that we have the utmost respect. And which is cool, is I felt like my friends hold me accountable just like I hold them accountable. So there is no real difference, and there shouldn't be at the end of the day. There should only be caring and making sure that person you can help that person in any way you can and make them happy too because y'all friends.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Uh, can you talk a little bit about the coaches that you had? You had I think Dwayne Casey, Randy Whitman.
7 coaches in 6 years. That's a
Yeah,
tough situation to be in. And
yeah,
for me, that was my bad luck. The fact that coaches get fired. It's the nature of the business, and when that happens, it's tough for the people there to stick because a new person's coming in with a new group. You got different people. You like, I don't know if I necessarily want this. So Dwayne Casey, my first coach, obviously was a real cool guy. Is very joking. I remember him coming up 2 days before we have our regular season game, and he goes, "Hey, we're gonna send you down to the D League," and and I'm like, "What? No way!" And
really.
like that feeling. It's like, "Nah, I'm
Wow.
just playing. I'm just messing with you. You're actually
Yeah.
been doing a good job. We appreciate your hard work. Just keep working." I'm just like, wow, he gives me that. And I go from him to Wit. Wit was more structured a little bit. Wit got on me sometimes, but I felt like it was only for the betterment of me. So that was cool. But Mikel's experience, I felt like in Minnesota was the best because we got to play at our best. And I felt like if they would have kept us, we would have been like OKC too. So it was just unfortunate. Mike Dunleavy, when I first got there, was tough because, I was going to be playing behind a lot of people, but a lot of people got injured. And he started to see my game, and things started to work out in that right way. So it was cool. But he gets fired. Vinny Dale comes in. I have good rapport with Vinny Dale, but I'm not able to play because now all the people are playing who make more money than me, and let's just be honest.
Mm.
And so that was a good experience. I could have kind of should have stayed there. I should have ended up retiring the Clipper. I know that for sure. But the nature of the business is a beast. After that, I went to Nate McMillan. Nate McMillan gave me an opportunity. I came in there late, but he still gave me an opportunity, and I shined in it. Then he ends up getting fired. And that goes all over again. So I will never take away from my experience because I felt like I helped kind of build all stars too during the season, because like every
Yeah.
year somebody was an all-star that I was practicing and guarding pretty much on a daily basis. Goes Kevin Garnett, right? And KG, Chris Kaman, Blake, LaMarcus, and then obviously after I leave, but he's always going to be my rook, Kevin Love.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
I'm
so
yeah. I'm curious from your perspective, as you said, you were on some teams that didn't do well, in terms of wins and losses. If you were a GM today, like from your experiences, like what difference or how would you approach it differently compared to how things were approached on your respective teams?
if I was the GM,
Yeah.
well, I would have kept on my teams, right? Or are you talking about to like?
I'm just saying, like, what do you think went wrong in Minnesota, or
Oh, okay.
like why was it? Why did the turnaround not like? Why didn't that 32 win team go to 50 or whatever?
Oh, because well, first and foremost, it was tough because I felt like my rookie year we did with Casey, we were in the playoffs, and then obviously he got fired, and then we were out the playoffs. So that was weird, and I felt like we had a good group. We just needed more structure, especially in the second half. If we had more structure where we actually had a good group of guys, 7, 8, 9 guys, versus sometimes having the inconsistent and sometimes like trying to play the young guys more and different things. Like if we actually did what we did in the first half of the season, we would be like a, a 3 through 6 seed. Now, mind you, when KG gets traded, that's a big trade. It's that's really big. So to get Al Jefferson back was really nice, but we know it was going to be a working year. But I felt like that next year, especially when we got McHale, we started to make strides. And that's when I felt like you should have kept us for the next year and the year after that, because I think in those 2 years we make the playoffs.
Yeah. What to you is the biggest difference in the college game versus the NBA game?
Shot clock, and floor spacing, and just the structure. You know, NBA is more fast paced, more up and downs, more athleticism. College is more team oriented, so pack the paint, zones, presses, you name it. I think those are the real differences. You know, and obviously the timing. It's the timing, the speed of it, more improv, more quick scheme, and like I said, the athleticism.
Yeah. I'm curious what was you know the 2011 NBA lockout. What was that like being a part of that?
It was fun because I felt like for me, I got to do some pretty cool things off the court basketball wise, and then not only that, Kobe picks for me to be on this Drew League team, and
Wow.
I get to pass him the game winner for that bucket. When everybody sees Kobe make
Wow.
that shot at the Drew League, I'm the one who passed him the ball. So
Wow.
it's
That's
like
pretty cool.
like
Yeah.
I love Kobe, man. Kobe's a great guy, and he was always cool to me. Always called me Rhino, man, and I always tried to get a little piece from him, of knowledge. But I feel like now I feel bad because I felt like I probably would have had a very much longer career if I actually asked him to work out with him, because I felt like the guys younger than me did that, but I was kind of like in a mode with scared because sometimes guys didn't really want you to work out with them. So it's just like that's the one thing I should have asked him, because I'm an LA guy. He knows
Yeah.
that. So it was just like I think it would have been really easy.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm curious. You played in a really cool time. You saw like a young LeBron sort of grow up. You saw Kobe, KG, Paul Pierce, Tim
T
Duncan, T Mac, Dirk, Yao
Mac,
Ming. Yeah.
Derrick Rose.
KD. Yeah. I'm curious who was I for you who's the best player of this era?
Of this era.
Yeah, I
I mean,
mean, yeah,
for
the
for long,
2000 let's say
for
2005 to
longevity,
2015.
for longevity, it's LeBron right
Okay.
now. But at the same time, KD and the Greek Freak. I mean, you could pick your poison. Obviously, KD is the baddest scorer. Nobody can mess with him right now. He's the best in the game today. But I think Greek Freak is a monster too that is unguardable. Can't really guard him. And I think by what he did last year, solidified himself because he really started to pay attention. Hey, I'm going to stop shooting these unnecessary threes when I'm not in rhythm, and I'm going to really get to my spot and score. Um, so, yeah, I would go with KD, but Greek Freak's right there. And obviously, since 2015, it's been LeBron, but, you know.
Yeah. I'm curious, did you have a NBA like hero as you were growing up as a young kid, and did you ever end up meeting that person?
Yeah, man, it was Magic Johnson. And,
Oh,
you know, I, I was born right across from the Forum. I'm not a real Laker fan because I watched the Clippers too growing up. Like I don't do that divide stuff. So I watched both of them growing up. You know, I got Clipper players that I really like too growing up. Lloyd Vaught, Rodney Rogers, Danny Manning, you know, Mark Jackson.
yeah.
So um Magic Johnson, right? I'm coming out. I just got this is like our first or second game playing. And I walk out of the weight room and Magic's right there. He turns around and he says, Mr. Smith, welcome back home. I almost fainted.
Wow.
This is unbelievable, you know, because
Yeah.
it's like, man, I seen this guy and, you know, he's kind of been a pillar behind LA basketball in a sense, you know, so it's like, wow. You know, inner kid
Yeah.
moment, gratitude, wow. And you know my name.
Yeah.
Can't make this up. And that's when I go, all this hard work is getting me this type of experiences where I'm getting embraced by guys like Magic, Kobe. Shaq tells me I have a good dunk in a game. You know, Tim Duncan asked me,
Wow.
how does it feel to play at home? Vince Carter's just, you know what I'm saying? Like
Wow.
these experiences, I'm very thankful and blessed and say, I've played with the best people in the world because I was one of them.
Yeah.
Like, I still feel like I am. Let's be honest. I can still dunk. I got a dunk yesterday. The kids made me dunk. I
Yeah.
wasn't warm. So that was literally like no stretch, no nothing. I was like, yeah, that's no wonder I missed the first one because I'm like, I'm freezing in here, you know? But
Yeah.
just to have that still, just to know it's like, oh, I still got gas in the tank. That's a
Yeah.
good thing.
Yeah. Um yeah, and then so from there um also during this time period you got married, correct?
Uh yeah, I did.
How do you have any pieces of advice to the single guys out there on that process?
Uh, yeah, just take your time, be patient, and but know the things you like, and obviously, um, be understanding to understand her love language as well. I think that's a pillar because your love language is going to be different. So you got to interpret her love language, but I think it's all about like the vibe, being cool, calm, collective. You and that person really sharing that peace, you know, at the end of the day. I think that's what's very important. So for you young, so it's different. But guys who are older, they kind of got to hurry up and speed it up. You know, time waits for no man.
Yeah.
So their situation gets to be a little bit different. But I say for the younger guys, it's always just important just to be yourself, be kind, be nice, be respectful, and show your love inside, but also protect yourself too because you know you have to figure out who this person is and if this person is right for you at the end of the day, you know? So you got to do certain things. You got to travel together. Got to stay in the crib for a week and a half, 2 weeks together to see how that is. You know, there's different things. So just want you guys just don't rush. Take your time and, you know, just love freely. I always say when you love somebody, you can't hurt them, so you always got to think about that.
I'm curious, did you like at BC or in your young NBA career before you know, your marriage or before you guys started your relationship, I'm curious, like, did you go on dates and like how did that like you approach that knowing, you know, often they knew who you were, they knew your celebrity status, like
Yeah,
um
it was a little bit different because like um you know, it wasn't really like social media crazy. Like, hey, what's your, what's your Instagram? What's your TikTok? It's like, what's your pager number? What's your phone house number?
yeah.
What's your Nokia cell number?
Yeah.
You got the snake game? Let me see the snake game. You know, it
Yeah.
was different. But back in the day, I would, so I will say this: I am a part of the generation that we started. Like, it was part of us that started this technology stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've started from Atari to Nintendo, Game Boy, Sega, Dreamcast. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
we've
Saw
been
the
through everything.
evolution.
We
Yeah.
I've been playing on a computer since I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like, I've been involved with the first computers. So, well, I wouldn't say a lot of people, but from my experience, yes, because my step grandfather worked for Apple back in the day, build computers. So for me, the generation is different. And then for me, I've had experience. Like I said, I've observed a lot of things when I was young. I've had experiences of being around beautiful women at a young age. I have sisters. My sisters have friends. They're very beautiful women. Kind of taught me some things in observance, just on the difference between good women, pretty women, and, you know, status fiction stuff. You know, those type of women. So for me, it was just always, I know women want to laugh. Um, they want to be treated nicely with respect, of course, and they want somebody who's good, who can tell stories, who's not boring, who's not going to just be there and be awkward and think too much. You know, you got to have a mind for yourself. You got to spark conversation with them. You got to get them going, because sometimes by you sparking a conversation with the woman and she likes it, it's going to create something in her head. It's going to create another attraction for you, because you may already been attracted by looking at you, but now you can hold a conversation, you know? And then there'll be like guys my age. It'll be like, now, you know, what you got to deal with is, you know, I mean, being like me, right? I'm 38. I got a hairline. So it's like, it's a different thing at my age, you know, versus,
Yeah.
you know, other guys. So it's all many different things. But I think at the same time, if you can make a woman laugh, smile.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm more like how did, you know, for clout chasers or like how did, I mean, maybe for your teammates, maybe not for you, but like how did you, you know, like
oh,
cuz
differentiate.
cuz
Well, yeah, you
cuz
just
they
know what.
know, like say junior senior year you went on a date, they know this is, you know, all American Craig Smith that I'm, you know what I mean? Like how did you figure that part out, that like does she really like me for me, or does she like me cuz I'm famous?
Well, it's really about like, I guess for me, I have good intuitions on things at times. So it's just like seeing certain things or certain gestures and keeping that in my mind. Oh, you did that? Okay. So I need to look out for that. Oh, let me see how your energy is like when you're around me or my teammates. Let me see the energy us by ourselves, like, or if I if I'm meeting somebody and somebody else is famous, how does that look? You know? So
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
different things that I
100%.
feel like you would definitely get an answer for, and they'll just show themselves in red flags. everybody tries to mask it, but sometimes it comes out anyway, and that's the point, especially about people who are just materialistic. It may last, but it won't last forever. So it's just like it'll show itself. Just like a card at the end of the day, when the dude asks, "What card am I holding?" At the end of the day, it's gonna show you the card. That's the same thing about in life and in relationships. If something is wrong, it's always going to be shown. There's no way to hide that and do that because God doesn't allow that for some reason. Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
Things come out and things happen. So it's just like, for me, I already knew it was coming on, but I already knew on myself too, based on my experiences with women. I was just like, I know what type of woman you are actually, just by looking at you. I could tell if you're materialistic or your values are a little bit different, or how did you grow up in the home? Did you grow up in a single family? Did you grow up with a father? Like, these things are big factors because it just displays the different characteristics of a woman and where her mindset is. So
Yeah.
sorry I took it deep like that,
No,
but
no, that's what I'm asking because it's one of those things where I'm always curious with, you know, guys that get to, the level that you've gotten to and, at a certain point, if you're single, then when you're meeting people, they only know you as the
yeah.
celebrity,
So
So,
sometimes it comes into they like your lifestyle,
yeah.
but you got to figure out. I need you to like more than my lifestyle. I need you to love me. I need you to
Yeah.
help me because everybody out here is pretty much a predator and are after me and think I have this and that. They don't know everything, but that's what they think. Their perception because of what they see. NBA. You could just say NBA. It don't even matter if you ain't played one day. NBA, like, oh, you're gold. You got $1 million in your pocket right now, which
Yeah.
not may be the truth.
Yeah.
But you got to just protect yourself at all times because you're doing something, like I said, a lot of people can't do. And a lot of people want to hop on the train too, because they need that energy. Like, you can help put people in certain places. So I'm saying, like, especially the wife game right now, and social media is just like you an NBA or NFL wife. You have a job on social media, easy.
Yeah. Uh, you know, Craig, so I'll transition to your overseas experience, but was there anything about the NBA that you wanted to talk about more or that you wish people asked you about?
Nah, I just wish I had more years, and I didn't really understand why I got left out. I felt like I said, I got every piece of game inside, outside, but sometimes you just gotta have a little bit of luck of joining some teams. And like I said, I just wish I finished out with the Clips show, because I know that was a really good situation for me there, and it sucked I had to go to Portland, but I mean I enjoyed myself in PDX. But overall, man, I've had a blessed NBA experience. My experience wasn't 2.5 seconds. I actually was in there, so for me, it was definitely gratifying. I just wanted more.
Yeah, no, I get that as a competitor, but as you said, I'd also look back at, there's like what 300 NBA players in the world, and you were in that top best league for 6 straight years, so that's not something to be, to put down.
Yeah.
That's quite the accomplishment. So after the year with Portland, you end up going to Israel, and then China. Um, I'm just curious, do you have any pieces of advice for someone making that move overseas? What to expect or what to do, what not to do?
Overseas is just gonna be different. It's gonna be a different experience for you. But at the same time, a learning experience. So it's definitely gonna be cool. And then some places are really, really nice places. Let's be honest. But the structure is gonna be different. You're gonna work a little bit harder than you do. Um, but just because it's overseas, and that you're only going to be one of two maybe Americans on the team possibly, and you guys are going to be playing a lot of minutes. You're going to be playing a lot of minutes, but you're going to understand a different culture, the mindset, how it works, the food. So I definitely would say, like, tap into the culture. It makes the experience much better and easier, just to get along and push through while you're going to play basketball. But my thing is just stay out of like certain situations. Don't really be by yourself in some places because you are in a foreign country, you know. And like I said, learn the culture, like timing. How do I get to practice on time? What do I need to do here? And then like be the beast that you are. How can you get extra work? How can you bring a championship to the city? Because if you do, they'll glorify you forever.
Yeah.
And not only that, the money's good too. Just be smart. Make right investments now. All the clothes ain't investments unless it's Supreme or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all need to make sense of your money so y'all can grow more. So each check you get, try to get that percentage and either put it up or put it into in an investment where it can grow. Because obviously, yes, you won't be making millions of dollars. Some do overseas, but some still can make 10 to 20 to 30 to 40 to 50,000 a month. And if you can do that, your bills shouldn't be that high. Your bills shouldn't be crazy at all. I'm gonna be honest. You should have under 5,000 maybe for your bills monthly, including rent. So, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Um, and then you went back to the G League for a year, and then again back to Israel. Um, is there anything else that you would like to say about those years?
Those are just some really good years, man, and I was thankful to have those experiences. Jerusalem, being my first time out of the league, I felt like really humbled me, um, helped me out more spiritually, being in the motherland. So that was really cool. I've tapped into the culture, so it was really good. I've had an amazing experience. I even started doing my own Rhino segment show out there where, I have my own segment just talking about league teams. Became a TV personality out there and hold a lot of dear friendships with a really lot of really good people out there. So that was great. My experience in China was wonderful too, being on the bullet train, traveling all over China, getting to see some pretty amazing things while over there averaging like 40.
Scoring champ, yeah.
So it was
Yeah.
cool. I will never take my experiences away. Help me mold who I am and become this person I am today. And I'm just really, really thankful. Especially now being 38. I know I'm still young with a lot of gas left, but I've done a lot, and I'm thankful for that.
And then 2019, you get inducted to the BC Hall of Fame. Can you talk about what that means to you?
It meant a lot, man. It meant all my hard work. Um, all my hard work and dedication um, came out in this way, and they appreciated me for what I've done, and I've had a great time and great experience up there. I got a wonderful education. I got some really good league championships and league and tournament wins and all types of good things. So when that opportunity going back, man, was really special because it let me know I was going to be immortal at that school now.
Yeah, 100%. I'm curious, not to sour the mood, but I have to ask, as a fellow BC alum, um, what's your point of view on how the school can improve its basketball program? The last time they made the NCAA tournament was 2009. They made NIT 2011, 2018, but you set the tone for a time period of 3 consecutive NCAA tournament berths, and your junior year you were 20-0. I mean, that just seems so far fetched for BC and for so long now. What's your opinion on that?
Well, you gotta find guys in the era that was like us. The mentality where we wanted to prove that we can be good and that we're underdogs and that we're better than the people who were ranked over us. Like we are the ones who want to get down and dirty, and I think you gotta have some dogs. You gotta have guys in this era who obviously don't shy away from getting dirty. And I know the era has changed. It's more up paced. It's more 3-point shooting. But the mentality doesn't have to change. That mindset of wanting to be something different. And I think that's what made us special. We all believed. You just got to find a group that really believes in themselves and goes out there and proves it every single night. Because that's what we did. Me and my teammate Lewis Henry was my roommate. Every time we're marking calendars, who we got next, who we gonna beat on. Like, this is not a game for us out here. We really want to get acknowledgement for our games. Like, we haven't got it at all, and we're foaming out the mouth for it. We want it so bad. We want to win so bad, and that played every day into practice, into the games, because we wanted it bad. Like, what you gonna do? You gotta.
Yeah.
Everybody gets the same opportunity.
Yep.
We all breathe the same air. Just nothing different. It's just when that ball goes up, what are you gonna do? You're gonna do different. That makes the outcome a victory versus a loss.
Yeah. Shout out to Coach Lou. I spent the semester as a manager for the women's basketball team. Spent some time with him. So 2019, the Big Three comes calling. You're the 10th pick in the second round, and then end up being top 3 in Big Three scoring. Talk about that first season with the enemies.
It was a great experience. It was like another proving point to me because I felt like people thought I was done, I was washed, but to come out and really showcase and then show them a different part of my game just shows you the evolution now. Basketball doesn't stop. And by me, even though I'm getting older, I'm still getting wiser, and I still can play this game at a high level. So it was just great of proving to the people in that first season.
Yeah. And then 2021, you're the 5th pick in the first round for the Ghost Ballers. Um, Anything stand out for you
I
playing
mean,
for them?
it was just great getting picked, but it was really a tough season and a tough year, and it's just like it's just a lot of things going on in that time for me. So I'm really mad at that outcome of last season. I'm pretty pissed. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah. Yeah. How is it? How is it interacting? I think Coach Gervin was your.
Yep,
Yeah.
Iceman. It
Yeah.
was cool. I mean, we got off to a good start. I just felt I can help more, and there were situations that wasn't permitting it, and that's what just made it difficult and frustrating for itself. But I mean, Iceman is a great guy. He's so cool, laid back and chill, and got some really good stories. So it was good to be around those guys.
Yeah. Is Gilbert your favorite teammate from your time in the Big Three?
Yeah, Gil's one of my favorites, man, because Gil's so funny, man. He's a
Yeah.
comedian, dude. Like, so he always has me laughing.
Yeah. And then now, I've seen your Clippers ambassador, and as I said before, Crossroads assistant coach to the varsity basketball team. Um, what if there's anything else going on in terms of your personal interests that you want to talk about or things like that?
Yeah, just So I've been having this book this children's book. I've been really trying to finish off, and I'm really trying to focus in and really get that going. It's kind of a story about myself, but I'm using my character, the Rhino. So it's a really good story. I just need to finish out and critique some things and get that going, but hopefully I can get it going now because I know in the pandemic I was working on it, and when you start to play basketball again, things change and you have to
Yeah.
like stop certain things. So now, being that I'm in this situation, I'm gonna continue to focus on that and get that done. And then it's just like for me, I'm an LA guy, and I've always felt I can do anything when I put my mind to. So I'm actually looking for other endeavors too to work on. I always thought of doing some stuff in Hollywood, whether it be in consulting or story writing or producing, because I feel like I have those type of experiences where I can definitely help create and bring stories to life. So I'm trying to do it all. I'm honest, except for maybe skydive. you
you
know, but
know, you know that if you do a book signing at BC, that's going to be sold out. So you know that's for sure. You need to set that up.
yeah, definitely. So I'm working on it, man, and like I said, I'm like going forward. I'm just definitely trying to go into other things, like I've even thought about broadcasting, to be honest, because I feel like there's something to do with that in the lane of having that experience and knowledge of the game. So we're about to see on this next journey of this roller coaster. So I'm excited because life's a journey.
Hmm.
You got to go with it and take whatever it is, the good and the bad. It's all about the experience. So for me, I just want to keep learning experiences and keep being around good people.
100%. I would love to hear you as an announcer or an analyst. You've got great knowledge
That one time I
about the,
slip and curse, though, right?
about the game of basketball, and you played at the highest level. When did you become vegan?
So I'm not vegan, but
Oh, okay.
I've taken a lot of things out and I've been pushing towards that route. So
Okay.
I do not eat dairy anymore. I've cut that out. It's been about almost 5 years from dairy and red meat. Um, what else? Sometimes I dab in a little chicken or grilled or turkey if I feel like I need the protein. But sometimes I really go because this is what I wanted to find out for myself. Could I survive the week without eating meat? And when I did that based on like red beans and rice and different things, it was almost 2 weeks later. And I noticed I dropped a significant amount of weight.
Yeah.
So then it was like, oh, maybe I need to put something back on. But it's really for that, but mostly for me, it's about fasting. Like I fast all the time. Like I
Yeah.
fast the other day. I think I had like one meal. Like it just depends because I feel like you don't need food all day every day, and it goes to me in the back of beginning of civilization. Everybody wasn't that soup plantation sizzler, fat burger. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Like,
No.
what did they eat? There's a lot of fruits and vegetables. I feel like, and bean sources. So it's just like for me, that's how you can really live every day. Because it goes, well, what happens if like things resort back to the old times? A lot of people would be freaking out. Why? Because one, for food, they wouldn't know what to do with food because they're
Yeah.
not used to it. They're used to processed foods. You know what I'm saying? Versus the greens, the vegetables. So
Yeah. No, I've been vegan for about 2 years now, and I lost 21 pounds. So I definitely agree with that. And I've read fasting helps with long term aging. All it definitely helps. I've read in the
yeah, you see
science.
this
So
Benjamin Button face right now.
yeah. Well, Craig, we talked about quite a bit. I know I've doing the research on you. You've done quite a lot of interviews and podcasts. Is there something about life or anything that you haven't been asked or that you'd like to talk about?
Oh man, oh, that's. I guess I don't know what I don't know what would my other goals be. I guess, or do I like something people don't know about me? I guess I don't know.
Yeah, what something people don't know about you,
Oh,
or life advice, or you
avid
know.
fan of um space and sci-fi, big time. I watch Rick and Morty.
Yeah,
I love Rick and Morty. I still have
nice.
a Rick and Morty shirt on. Back to the Future guy. Love Indiana Jones. Oh, what somebody may not know is, like when I used to play, especially in my later years, before games, I would read. I feel like that would help me on my free throws, help me
Hmm.
focus and lock in. So every flight or day before, I would read I'm trying to read a magazine article or read like 10 pages or something, like just to
Yeah.
get me locked in and focused. But I felt like that took my percentage up 10% from like 72 to 82, or actually like 83%.
Wow.
So yeah.
Yeah.
I did a ASMR video.
Okay.
I did that where I've ate a PlayStation. I ate a PlayStation game. It had the Spider-Man on there. It was a sugar cookie. So
Okay.
that was cool. Um,
That's on your YouTube channel?
yep, it's on the
Okay.
YouTube channel.
All right.
So
Cool.
yeah. But yeah, like I don't know. I like to do a lot of things, and I feel like for me, confidently, I can do all things that I want. So I think
Yeah.
that's always a good and positive feeling.
Yeah. Well, Craig, before I end the interview, if people want to support you in any way, what's the best way for them to do that?
Black Rhino 83 um, on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, on LinkedIn, Craig Smith, um, Snapchat, Smeeze the Rhino. Am I forgetting anything else? Vanyware, Cameo. I do personal shout outs and things like that.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah, I'm all on there.
Yeah, BC fans, if you need a cameo, that's pretty cool. Well, Craig, I just want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to interview you, and for all of our listeners to learn from your journey. Um, like I said, millions of people grow up wanting to be an NBA player, and it's only 300 or so people each year that are actually doing it, and you did it for 6 years. So credit to you, and credit to you telling us, some of the keys to your success of 6:30 a.m. in high school and things like that, and just thank you for all the insights and the stories on becoming an NBA player, managing finances, friends, family, friendships. We even got into relationships. So thank you again for your time, Craig.
My pleasure, my guy. I appreciate you, man. Go Eagles always.
Yes, sir. Let's go.